with a very standard Reaper expand, and funnily enough, they both went across the map with the Reaper plus SCV combo harass.
Right.
And they dodged each other, and they both ran into each other's base when there was nothing else there, and each of them killed 5 workers.
Oh my god,
It was
that's
actually
so funny.
really hilarious just to watch them both like, oh, I've got nothing at home. I better micro this Reaper really well. And now it's actually stabilized, kind of, but Jack G, not as quick to rebuild his SCVs, and you can see he just hit a big supply block there. This Widow Mine just did a little bit of damage, so Jack G is trailing in the SCVs, but still a very close TVT.
All right, well, thank you very much for the update, boys, otherwise. What we had here with TY going up against Stats, TY just seemed to have mastery and control over some of the aggressive tendencies there against Stats. So Stats going to have to really kind of buckle down, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, Stats is one of the very best Protoss in the world, and he's getting a lot of hype right now because of that. Some Protosses are underperforming as opposed to what we would expect out of them, like Zest.
Yeah.
But the thing is, TY is just, he's too smart, he's too good. A lot of the losses that you see in Terran versus Protosses right now are because people are human, they make mistakes.
Right, right.
TY less so, okay? Like,
yeah.
Even Innovation, he'll make some decisions that are wrong. Maybe he'll have a few more units than TY, but TY is not going to get out of position. He's going to punish you every time. He knows the counter to everything.
All right, well, thanks very much, guys. We'll check in with you in just a little bit. For now, though, we're going to head back over to the commentary desk for our continuing of this series.
Thanks, guys. Great job as always. Looking forward to hearing more from these guys, but first we need to continue here with our mainstream series. Stats, I mean, build otherwise, I think it was okay to do what he was doing. It's just like, it feels almost like the first Widow Mine drop that does some damage, basically follows up with the next one and the next one and the next one. And that first pickup, actually, you know, I joked that it was worth.
Yeah.
Because
that was a disaster.
it was sarcasm, right? Like a lot of the time, it's not worth to pick up a unit like this that was pretty much gonna die anyway. It was really bad.
Yep.
This is almost like you picked up one unit too much in the start of the game, you lose.
It's almost like TY wanted it as well. He's like, hey man, here's my Reaper. You want to lift it with that Phoenix of yours? And then you do it, and then you have no answer anymore against the Widow Mines. It was an awesome game by TY, kind of what we expect from him, like our chosen said. He just doesn't really make a whole lot of mistakes. You know, Johan, what I also really love is just hearing those updates from those other games. Because in the past, sometimes I'm sad when I go to an event. Obviously, casting is always fun. But it's like, man, I kind of wish I was sitting at home with my double monitor setup so I could watch multiple games. Now I truly feel like I'm getting informed about what's going on in the other games. I love it, though.
You're getting Autosis on one monitor, covering all the games. That's how it goes. All right, we're on Belcher Vestige here, and starting in the top left-hand side of the map. He needs to come back here in the series. Down 0-1 is, of course, Splice's stats.
I really like that yellow from Splice. It looks good.
Is that a logo?
Yeah, it looks very cool in-game there as well. Over here on the right bottom side of the map, looking at the man who has won WESG. It earned him $200,000. It's TY. Pro gamer for incredibly long, but he was waiting for that big victory. Often got very far. King of top 4, kind of like Stats actually. This used to be the battle of the guys that were always the king of top 4. And then obviously TY decided to break that curse at a pretty sweet moment, which earned him 200 Gs.
Going for a command center first here. Used to be nicknamed Baby, but then eventually changed that.
You can't always be a baby, Todd.
I think his real name is something like Taeyong or something, so that's TY basically. I don't know, yeah, you can, but I mean, if you look at MMA, Uriah Faber is nicknamed the California Kid and he's 40 years old, so he's a little bit out of place.
When you said MMA, I was like, oh, I wonder what you're going to talk about MMA for. I was like, is he back yet, Todd? Are you hyping an MMA return over here?
No.
There's only one MMA that I know, Todd. And he made it to the final of BlizzCon. And he won a GSL.
The best MMA. All right, Stas going for a scout. He's going to fully realize that there is a quick third base, and that's probably going to make him take a very quick third himself. Usually that's the standard reaction, unless he wants to be aggressive, but it's very hard to actually do anything much here.
I'd like to see a disrupted drop against this. I still believe that a disrupted drop is a pretty sweet opening against CC first. Obviously, it's a tiny bit
Boom,
risky.
target.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't say he was going to do it because I know that Stats is not really your guy to go for a disrupted drop, right? But if this was Neep or if this was, you know, some of those other Protoses, I generally believe they feel quite confident opening up with a disrupted drop against CC first, especially when it's 3 Rex.
Yeah, because he knows there's not going to be Widow Mines dropped into his middle line, killing 30 probes early on in the game.
Exactly, but obviously with the CC first, TY is going to have a great economy and he's going to have access to a lot of Marines. It's funny, right? Because there is this window where you can be greedy against CC first, but then at a certain point, you shouldn't be too greedy because then the Marine count is going to be very high.
It's very short, you have to get it perfectly right.
So if you want to be greedy, you have to be greedy now and then hope you survive that very first big push. And I think that Stats is, again, this is crazy to me. I mean, I guess this is a whole new meta. Like, again, this super fast 3 base. You really can go up to 3 bases faster than this as a Protoss against Terran.
Yeah. Your build just has to be crisp. Basically, you start the 3rd Nexus and then you add more gates. Usually at least 2, which should be starting very soon. Then you will go into Twilight and Robo. Maybe Forge as well. Yeah, here they are.
Hey, he has such few units. Doesn't have a Mothership Core yet, right? These guys, they're crazy.
Yeah, actually, that's exceptionally greedy.
3
It
bases.
reminds me of Bomber, by the way, like moving out with these few units.
There's a Marauder in the mix as well. The Marauder is actually quite nice. What's next? We're going to see concussive shells. We're going to go full Wings of Liberty over here. I wonder if Stats can keep that base alive. I guess with 2 Oracles, you always can. Does TY have enough Marines at home, though, to defend against his Oracle? That's the big question. The Oracle flies in, picks up 2 SCVs immediately.
Oh, did he not spot the 3rd base? Because he has a Marine almost there. Actually, that's going to do quite a bit of damage, and that's also taking his attention away from his main army out on the map. He's going to go for the 3rd Nexus, but that's almost finished.
He did bait out the Photon Overcharge. Meanwhile, the Oracle is just wrecking havoc on the other side of the map, but these Adepts are going to take a lot of damage. 2 Adepts and a Mothership Core is not going to be enough, but the Oracle is about to show up, maybe with the Oracle, but I think TY is probably going to gun the Oracle down immediately because he's aware of the DPS that this Oracle has. Sick micro on both sides. Oracle will fall. Well, pretty sick by TY. But
yeah, by Stats too. He could have maybe pulled back the Oracle at the last second, but he cleans up all of the Marines, and that's going to be that Mothership Core cleaning up this last Marauder here as well. Escapes across the map with the Oracle in the meantime.
So even though the trades and the work accounts, like, it looks alright for Stats, the only thing that's not good, wow, that's actually a very fast RTC. Didn't even see that go down. The bad thing about all of this for the Protoss is that the transitions are going to be very late, right? Like, what's it going to be? Phoenix Adept? He needs big numbers of that, and just now Resonating Glaives on the way, while Stim is already done. I'm not sure, Todd. Ouch.
Alright, this Oracle had reached his life expectancy.
You know,
nice setup by TY.
You guys know
he was gonna come back.
You guys at home know when you're watching Protoss casters compared to like Terran or Zerg casters, because most people do that. The Oracle goes down. And when it's 2 Protoss players watching this, it's like
crickets.
We've been there. A moment of silence for this Oracle, because it's just sad. You see, the moment you see
press 1 to pay respect.
Yeah, exactly. The moment you see that little line of death, you know you've done goofed. You're like, uh-oh, I went too far. And that hurts for Stats, because that's his detection. We do see Le Explosion de Gate. How's the pronunciation, though?
Not bad, actually, for once. First time ever.
5 gates going down, but TY's push, once TY's push is going to come, it's going to be a very scary one. That is going to be a powerful one. Once again, it's going to come down to execution, but he's normally so damn good in this phase in the game.
Stats setting a Robo. I was wondering what he was going to plan for detection after last game went so bad early on, especially since he lost his Oracles, but he needs to be in position on the 3rd base. That probe's going to allow him to get there on time here, I think.
Already he's burrowing these mines a little bit. Very well done. Has to be careful with his Marines. TY doesn't have that many Marines here. Now Resonating Glaives is done as well. But TY is very smart. He can always pick up these Marines. He knows that. He can also go for a couple of Marines. He's going to just pick it up.
Pick up and let the Widow Mine detonate. Boom!
Oh, pretty juicy hit. And there's another one.
Observer on the way, though. It's about to come out. And then he will rejoin this army, clean this up. The positioning of the Forge and the Twilight Council makes me a little bit nervous.
The Phoenixes are intercepting these 2 medevacs. Well done. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the kill, but still is going to put on a lot of pressure. There's no bunk here, but there are Widow Mines, and you got to respect the mines. As the Observer is not here yet. Stats is just going to split up a couple of adepts. I'm not sure if Stats has enough here, but he's definitely getting some decent trades at least.
Yeah, if you can trade, I think it would be good enough for him, but you don't want to be the least cost-effective possible, so you might have to go back right now, still doing all right. Snipe C, 6 SCVs here on this base.
I'm not sure if that's enough though. He's losing a lot of adepts. He's actually going to lose all of them as he cancelled the Shades. A couple of Phoenixes went down as well. If you take a look at the unit's lost resource tab, there's no way that was good. As he already lost almost 1100 gas. That's painful, Todd.
Yeah, those are hard to replace, even though it's going to boosting them one at a time. And we see a War Prism come out. When you play for this style, it's very encouraging to actually go for an attack with a ton of adepts and try to snowball rather than play the later stages of the game. You know, take the Colossus, get a second Forge. That's very, very uncommon to play with this.
You know what I really feel? I feel like Phoenix Adept, right? It's an incredibly strong composition until you reach a certain level of Terran. And I feel that these guys are so incredibly good in picking it apart with the Widowmine positioning, with missile turrets, with hot pickups in the medevacs as well, and later on setting up these Liberators. That's a lot of adepts though, and obviously this Natural is a little bit exposed. Does TY have enough, as most of the mines are out of position? Just when I said it, I think TY was in a good position. He's gonna lose a whole bunch of SCVs, Todd.
He's actually in a shade. Whoa, okay.
If there's 2 mines there, you know, that would have been a disaster.
Then we will be screaming G Fuel.
And the army's starting to look a little bit small. Mines getting picked up there as well. Good job by Stats. That was super clutch. And
Wow.
just like that,